No way, really? It's pretty interesting, isn't it? Oh, and food! Farming and agriculture are just booming back in my country. That's incredible! Okay. I know, right? Just amazing, really! That they have farms? Exactly! Your homeland seems like such a fun place. I'm so envious. You're from such a wonderful place. Why would you want leave just to travel? Well... oh, did I say something I shouldn't have? Let's just say we have some things to deal with. To put it another way, we are not so much traveling as we are making our way back home. We didn't intend for this to happen. Oh, I'm sorry for bringing that all up. No, it's fine. Don't worry about it. I've never been to Santa Drizda myself, but from what I hear, the continent's pretty far away, isn't it? Yes, it is. It's on the complete opposite side of the planet. There isn't a place farther than that. That's fair. Curses! It's the age of exploration right now. Well, it may sound like the perfect time to adventure. The truth is that all the other nations are busy trying to protect and expand their own territories. It's utter chaos. So it's the age of discovery, right? Honestly, we need to get back home as soon as we can, but we're in a bind. We're absolute novices at traveling, so we don't even know how long the journey will take. Does that mean I've done nothing but get in your way as I was dragging you all over town? Not at all. It's nothing to be concerned about at all, Rune. We were only able to gather this much in supplies with the amount of money we had, thanks to Rune after all. She's right. We're really grateful to you, Rune. So hold your head up high, okay? Okay. Uh-huh. Okay, bye. Well, thanks very much for everything today. No, the gratitude is all ours. Thanks so much for helping us out today, Rune. I share sentiments. You have my gratitude, Rune. Oh, I know. Hey, Rune. What is it? Vilsariol! What? What? Huh? Okay, you do this. Selphine sticks her hand out with her thumb and pinky spread out while the other three fingers are kept together. Rune mimics Selphine's gesture and they do a Ruxenhaida-style handshake. So it's basically the world's most uncomfortable handshake possible. Gotcha. Good job, Rune. What was that? Vilsariol. It's a greeting we say in our country's native language. Means luck be with you. Radona. With every encounter, luck is part of the beginning and of the end. It's one of the traditional sayings we have from our country. Whenever you greet or say goodbye to someone, you tell them Vilsariol. Selphine! This has been the best, funnest day I've had in my entire life. Why you cry, though? Your kindness brings me to tears. Oh, don't exaggerate. Radona, Vilsariol to you, too. Yeah, Vilsariol, nerd. I shake her hand. She sure cries easily. That's true. Spent half the day crying. Well, the sun's totally set now. We can walk you back. Yeah? Did she just say yeah? Indeed. It's alright. I'm fine. No need to worry about me. I don't think anyone in this city would even think of doing stuff to me, like kidnapping or whatever. Anyway, moving on. Yes? Will you two be leaving town by tomorrow? That's the plan, tomorrow morning. Is that so? Why do you ask? What about evening? No, noon! Could you please wait for me until noon? Sure, I guess. Hey, Radona, you awake? I am? What do we do tomorrow? You mean about Rune? There's something I'd like to give you. I don't think she has any hidden intentions. I've kept an eye on her behavior all day today, and she seems to genuinely be doing this out of kindness. Of course she is. Tono, you've always been so suspicious of everyone. I'm your guardian after all, just treat it like an occupational disease. I know, we've been together for so long, right? I wonder what she wants to give us, though. Well, shall we extend our stay to just noontime tomorrow, then? Of course, we've managed to make a friend. Who knows when the next time we'll meet will be? I can understand what you're feeling exactly. She certainly had her peculiarities, but I've grown rather fond of Rune as well. Who wouldn't? Even though we need to get back to Rugenheide as soon as we can, I figure another few hours wouldn't hurt. There's another reason why we need to leave this place as soon as we can, however. This place, the Outer Pole, is called that because it's beyond the reach of the mana streams emanating from the 4 mana poles. Yeah, I know that much, and it's because there's so little mana that sediment costs so much, right? Indeed. By the way, how are you feeling right now? Huh? Well, I guess I'm pretty tired. We did do quite a lot of walking and all. That's not what I meant. Huh? It's true that we've expended quite a lot of our stamina. However, the exhaustion you're feeling stems primarily from the lack of mana. What? Our bodies are not accustomed to a land with this little mana. It's akin to a place that doesn't have enough oxygen. I apologize for that. What? Rune kind of came out in it. Sorry, Selphine. Is that dangerous? It'll be quite taxing on your body, but it's nothing life-threatening. Even though we need to get back to Rugenheide as soon as we can, I figure another few hours wouldn't hurt. Is acclimatizing a bad thing? Well, don't you think it's rather strange? Huh? Apart from special areas like these, mana is present all throughout the planet. If the mana present in that area is so lacking that it's obstructing your way of life, then you can just move elsewhere. So, why don't the people of the Outer Pole do the same? Oh. The reason is simple. Even if they wanted to, they can't leave. Why not? Being raised in a land rich with mana, staying for a short while in a place that has much less of it isn't too difficult. Our bodies will eventually get used to the small amount of mana, and we can continue our lives as normal. Wow! However, the opposite of that is not possible. Why? Why not? A person's mana system develops in the first 6 to 9 months of their life based on the concentration of mana of their surroundings. This process determines their internal absolute limit for storing mana. And for the rest of that person's life, their body will continue to take in mana from the atmosphere using that absolute limit as something of a benchmark. However, in the case of people who are born and raised in the Outer Pole, this limit is as good as 0. Their bodies have become unable to metabolize mana. Oh boy, exposition time! Yay! If someone like that were to go to a place with an incredibly high concentration of mana, there is a phenomenon where the mana present in the air forces itself into the body. Seeing as this mana cannot be metabolized by the body, do you know what it is to the body? It's poison. Yes, in other words, mana shock occurs. To the body. Oh no, but maybe they could just slowly get used to it, to more and more mana. Even if they weaken their mana consumption rate, it's said that it's something that can't be trained up. The fact that there are no people leaving the Outer Pole is proof of this. For those who've grown up with mana, there's no resource more valuable. But for those who have no connection to it, there isn't a thing more dangerous. It's similar to taking a fish that can only live in fresh water and suddenly tossing it into salt water. Well, not exactly. And that is the other reason as to why we need to leave as soon as possible. This is only based on what I've heard, but our bodies can only last for 5 days. We absolutely cannot spend any longer than that in the Outer Pole. If we don't take care, then we may be forever confined to this place. So... you have 3 days left then. Or 4, actually, maybe. Because this would be the end of the first... this would technically be the end of the first 24 hours they've been here. Knowing all this, do you still intend to wait till noon tomorrow? I'll wait. Very well then. Once we'd gotten back to Ruxenheide, let's go to send Rune an invitation and ask her to come over and visit us. But with mana shock and all, that's not possible, is it? No, it's not. Then that means our meeting tomorrow with her is our last. We've only known each other for a really short time, but that doesn't change the fact that Rune is my friend. Because if I can't even treasure my friends, then being able to treasure the people of my country would be impossible for me. Sorry. Rotona, I know that I'm being selfish, and that I'm dragging you along into more danger. Nonsense, milady. Your will is mine. Really, I'm so sorry. Don't be. I think your sentiment is truly, truly admirable. Please trust your discernment. That's a term. I will stand by your decision no matter what. This is pretty anime, ain't it? Uh-huh. She's late. It's 12:20. Oh, no. Man, if I was only 20 minutes late to things, that would be great. Let's wait a little longer, just a little longer, and if she still doesn't come... okay, new person, I guess. Are you two Selphine and Rotona? We turn around to find a tall man standing behind us. Chapter 3, Discrepancies. My full attention focuses straight on his eyes. They were sharp, almost combative, and weren't the kind to let just anyone get close to him. Maybe he was born with them? His eyes? Just what kind of life would one have to have lived to get such a sad gaze like that? Huh? And you are? My name is Rudo Zhevitz, CEO of the Zhevitz Company. No, I suppose that title means nothing to the likes of you two. Long story short, I'm Sarah's owner. Sarah? Owner of Sarah? Is that some kind of store? That's the thing that was accompanying you the night before. Last night? Do you mean the girl we were with yesterday? Rune? I don't know if I like his voice like that. It's too similar to Rotona. I think we'll have to put up with it, though. What? Upon hearing the name, his face stiffens up. Calling itself Rune now, is that right? Yes, she was. Rudo lets out an exasperated sigh. Let's get one thing straight. I don't know what lies that thing has told you, but what you've spent the entirety of yesterday with is, without a doubt, Sarah. Could you please stop addressing Rune as if she were a thing? What's wrong with referring to an object as an object? Why, you... I glared at him with intent to intimidate. I don't think it's going to work. Just what do you want with us? Oh, is that so? Rudo seems to have come to a conclusion of sorts as he silently approaches me straight on. Huh? As we stand right across each other, the difference in height becomes glaringly obvious. I only just barely come up to his chin. I instinctively got myself into a defensive stance. And then, your eyes are absolutely exquisite. That's kind of creepy. Time stops. My body is frozen still. I break out in cold sweat all over my body. Their lush brilliance, the deep colors of your irises. Such splendid eyes, as if they were radiating a faint glow of light. It was nothing more than cringeworthy cliched lines, one after the other. Or it should have, had the gaze in his eyes staring straight at me not been swirling full of hatred and anger. Rotona? I see. I'd heard you were travelers, but for you to have been outsiders. Excuse me? What do you want from us? So be it. Rudo distances himself from us again. Again from us. Just who is this man? There has to be a limit to how far you can take xenophobia. Oh boy. Ratona, are you okay? I'm fine. It just caught me by surprise, that's all. Back to the topic at hand. What on earth did you tell Sarah? I can't imagine what could inspire it to take such unexplainable actions. Now, just a moment here. I'm telling you that the girl we were with yesterday was Rune. If you're going to keep insisting she's Sarah, then we'd like to see some proof. Unfortunately, I don't have the time to explain everything just for you. Let's put it this way. I'm just her overseer. You're Rune's overseer? You haven't been making sense at all this entire time. This morning we found Sarah leaving my company's mines with sediment on its person. What? Mine? We're currently excavating it. Sarah must have thought we wouldn't notice it taking some Class 4 sediment. Stealing from the mines just to give it to people like you? Outsiders. What was it thinking, I swear? Excavating. Well, it's just that the work I do is a little special. It's a pretty unique way of making a living in this place. Don't tell me. No way, Rune is a mana mine worker? Just how slow do you have to be? Look, Rune does not exist. Okay, look, whoever we were with yesterday, Sarah, was it? Is she a laborer in a mana mine? She is, and what of it? This is an outrage. Are you insane? Working in a mana mine with that frail, dainty body, she couldn't possibly be doing this of her own will. Own will? There is no such thing. I give it orders and it carries them out. That's all there is to it. Do you mean to say she's a slave? What? Are you treating Rune as a slave? Does this country still practice slavery? This is just too much. You say that you've made friends with Sarah, but for it to have not told you something so important. Considering your friends, you ought to be exasperated. Please answer me. Is Rune a slave under your possession? Selphine, that's a preposterous question. My time isn't worth having to educate to people. My time isn't worth to have... Let me try that again. My time isn't worth having to educate people who've completely misconstrued this entire situation, like you, from the very beginning. And I have little to gain once you do understand. So you go out of your way to meet us, but you won't even tell us anything. Now, no need to look so disappointed. I came here to pay you back for your time. As he speaks to us, he takes out a finely shaped sediment from his pocket. The sediment was as clear as glass, without a single impurity. It's really high quality. Class 1. Holy shit, that is super high quality. Considering how much sediment costs in the outer pole, one has to wonder just how much this would cost. A fuck ton. You two wanted some sediment, am I right? Here, I kept you waiting, so take this. No, thank you. Rather than that, we'd like to hear the full story behind all this. That's too much trouble, so I'll just skip to the end. Rune is not a slave. The two aren't even remotely comparable. To make things clear and simple, it broke the company's rules. And we have taken the best steps possible to make sure that this doesn't happen again. If you want any more information beyond that, then conduct your own investigation. Now, if you'll excuse me... Wait! What? What will happen to Rune... No, Sarah. Why do you have to concern yourselves with that? Because she's our friend. Selphine immediately responds in a loud voice, her patience seeming to have run dry. Rune stole some sediment. That's the issue here, right? Then I'll just pay you back for it. So don't do anything to Rune. And here I was wondering what you had to say. You do realize that this entire incident happened because you don't have the money to actually pay for sediment, right? He's got you there. Well, that may be the case for right now, but once we return home... You're telling me to trust someone who I've only just met. This isn't something you can just solve with just your emotions. Rudo once again begins to walk away. Wait! I am a mana crafter. Huh? Ratona? Probably shouldn't... Maybe a bad idea to kind of let that come free in a public space. If you can give me any empty sediment, I can fill it with purified mana. With stones the size that you're holding, I can easily top up 10, even 20 of them. Well, how about that? Will we still have a problem? You're a rather desperate girl, especially for you to make such remarks in a public place like this. That's what I said. And here I thought you had your head on straight. I suppose I overestimated you. Well, come on, purified mana from a human. That's an extremely valuable resource in these parts, right? I'd say it's quite a good deal. Good grief, how utterly naive. Ooh, nice spelling. Look, let me share some insight with you. When it comes to crime and punishment, the system does not exist simply to fix the crime. It must be a system that can reform the behavior and psyche of whoever committed the crime. Apologies and reparations are just a byproduct. A formality, in other words, nothing more. Isn't there anything at all that we can do? Nothing. The fact that I, the victim of this matter, haven't demanded anything from you means that the matter's already been resolved. I simply came here so I could hear your side of things, but it doesn't look like there's any point in that. But, more importantly, both of you had better not forget about mana shock. Idle around here long enough and you won't be able to leave the outer pole. Especially you with the red eyes. Based on the glow in your eyes, I'd say you have 3 days left here. Excuse me? I'm talking about mana shock. You're from the outside, right? Then there's no way you don't know about it. Well, Safine didn't. You can find out that much just by looking into someone's eyes? Who is this man? Leave. That's the best course of action for you right now. Well, if you want to end up being unable to leave the outer pole for the rest of your life, then that's a different story. Rudo finally parts from us, leaving behind that final sardonic remark. He seems like a great person. What do you think, Ratona? Ratona? I don't know. Safine continues to stare in the direction that Rudo left, her face showing her refusal to accept the outcome. It's natural. Even I can't accept this. So Rune is a slave? I'm not sure. Rudo's explanation was extremely vague. That it was. He's really shit at teaching or telling people things. As if he was intentionally speaking in circles to obscure something. Ratona? Yes? I was wondering what my father would have done if he were in our place, but I'm struggling to find an answer. Slavery. I've only ever heard about it in stories. If King Valar were here, he would intervene. I'm sure he would intervene one way or another, perhaps now or at a later opportunity. Yes, you're right. I know I just kind of glossed over that, but holy shit, we actually made a choice. Oh, that's a thing that I didn't know actually could occur in this game. Rune, or Sarah, was it? Her safety is certainly a concern. But more importantly, he would have found out whether or not slavery is still being practiced here. Probe and investigate. That was one of King Valar's favorite phrases. While other countries often took issues straight to the battlefield, Ruxenheide has always prioritized conducting a thorough investigation first to determine the proper course of action. On their culture, their character as a nation, their values, the maintenance of the path down, taking all of it into consideration to find the true justice. However, if slavery really was being practiced here, then that simply isn't an issue of differing cultural values. In this world, there are things that are absolutely evil, and I believe that it is part of Ruxenheide's duty as a representative of the Alliance to stamp out these evils. There is no justice in allowing the exploitation of people for the selfish desires of others. Yes, violence is certainly out of the question, but we can get a little rough. In this day and age, lines between good and evil are blurred. That's why, as people who can extend a hand to others, we must take more aggressive action. Even if we can't affect any change this instant, we must at least take action. At the very least, I'd like to confirm Rune's safety. Selphine's clouded, dissatisfied expression brightened considerably, but still, I don't think I can come to a decision. Her expression once again clouds up. Mana shock, right? Yeah, this isn't something for me to decide on my own. However, there's no need to worry about anything. I've already come to a decision of my own. Let's set a time limit. What? That man, Rudo, he told us 3 days, but I feel that's cutting it too close. Let's spin it at 2 days. No matter what the outcome, we leave the outer pole the day after tomorrow. Until then, we do our best to help. Is that alright with you? Yeah. Well then, your orders? Ratona. Yes? Let's help Rune out. Got it, boss. It shall be done, milady. So, question. How big is the outer pole supposed to be, and where in it are they supposed to be at? Because if they're estimating having 2 days, maybe one or 2 days to get out of the outer pole, they'd have to be like right on the fucking edge. Otherwise, they're not gonna make it. But whatever. We began our investigation by asking the residents of the town that we met. I recall the route we took as we did our shopping. This is the central district. The person closest to here should be probably the lady at the general store. We come across the well-rounded lady whom we purchased a map from yesterday as she was cleaning her storefront. Excuse me, do you have a moment? Did I have a voice for this person? Welcome back. Is there anything I can help you with today? Oh, that's an awful voice, but we're doing it. Actually, we have a few questions about Rune. Do you mind sharing a bit of your time with us? Rune? Oh my, what could that be? Huh? What do you mean, you don't remember us? What are you talking about? Don't play jokes on me. Of course I'd remember what happened just 1 day ago. She's the girl who was with us. The girl who was with you is Sarah, right? Looks like we'll have to use Sarah from here on. Makes sense? What's wrong? Your faces look pale. Yesterday she introduced herself to us as Rune. Oh my, I wonder why she would do that. I apologize for my rudeness earlier, but I'd just like to clarify things. The girl who is with us today is named Sarah, yes? Yep, that's right. The lady shakes her head. Sarah's been assigned to maintenance work on the power grid here, so I see her maybe once a month. Power grid? You see that box-looking thing over there? She points to a box sitting in the corner of the store. It's a fuse box. There are a number of long cylinders jutting out of the box, extending down into the ground. What is that? You don't know about the grid? You sure are behind the times for someone so young. You don't know about the mana mine outside of town? They extract mana from there and send it through the pipes to every household in here. So there's some kind of filter or something or other in that box that has to be replaced once every month. And the one who does that for us every month is Sarah. So her work isn't just excavating in the mines. That's why I'm sure of it. Maybe you just heard wrong? That can't be it. She was very particular about her name when she was talking with Selphine, so I remember it very clearly. Why did she use a pseudonym? A reason to intentionally use a false name? Perhaps she was part of some kind of scam. No, if this was a scam, then Rudo should have taken me up when I offered the mana, instead of offering you money. If they were both accomplices, then that would have made much more sense. However, Rudo refused my offer without a second thought. So if this isn't a scam, then what could it be? Alright then, does anything come to mind when we mention the name Rune? Rune, oh, it's just a normal girl's name. She stops talking mid-sentence. Her expression darkens as well, or so it seems to me. Now that you mention it, I remember one particular girl named Rune. But this story isn't a pleasant one. What do you mean by that? At the Jevitz's, there was a girl who was named that. Well, you mean the family, not the company. But apparently she died about 6 years ago. She died. I don't really know the details myself. It's all just old rumors. So I don't know what is and isn't truth. But it's a fact that the Jevitz family had a daughter named Rune. Well, I've never seen her since, so maybe the rumor of her dying really is true. Could we have the details of that story? Oh boy! The girl was the devil in disguise. Some people believed that and others didn't, but I'm sure she was. That damned girl should never have been born in the first place. But please, calm down. We are talking about a mere child here. Was she a little naughty? Regardless of what happened, she was still a child. Referring to her that way isn't very fitting. If we were talking about any normal child, I'd agree with you there. But you just don't know who she was. That's why you can still think that way. Are you that certain? I'll have you know I have 3 kids of my own. I've experienced more than my fair share of bratty little kids. But that Rune, she was just worlds apart. Everywhere she went, you can bet disaster soon followed. So she was a monster. It's hard to imagine her lying about all this. But she was still just a child, right? How do I put it? She'd make your hairs stand on end. I heard rumors that she would be violent when out of sight, but when you meet her in person, she would be so prim and proper it was almost sickening. She acted very mature even though she was just a little child. Every time you spoke with her, it felt like she was planning something. At the age of 7, she managed to put that kind of pressure on an adult many times her size. You'd understand what I meant if you'd met with her too. Well, not that you can, though, now that she's dead. That's true. Say, Ratona? Yes? She mentioned Jevitz. Do you think they have anything to do with that Rudo person? Wait, don't tell me. Did you actually meet Rudo? Yeah, just a while ago at the Central District. Oh my word, that's just unheard of! What do you mean? I've never heard of him ever just walking around town like that. Say, was that Rune related to Rudo somehow? She was his little sister. Poor Rudo. He's still so young, but both his parents and his little sister passed away one after the other. Now he has to manage the entire company all by himself. Huh? Excuse me! We'll be right there. Sorry, girls. Looks like story time's over. I've got a customer. Sorry for coming by during business hours. We appreciate the information. Thank you. The plot thickens! His little sister. Looks like we've gotten more questions than we have answers, eh? Is the girl we met yesterday Rudo's little sister? Well, I wouldn't bet on it. What makes you say that? Maybe the rumors that she died were all wrong. She did say it was a long time ago and that she doesn't remember so well. If that's true, then that means Rudo treats his little sister as an object and forces her to work in the man of mines like a slave, wouldn't it? Maybe it's something that isn't out of the ordinary for this country. I think that's out of the ordinary for a lot of places. I certainly don't want to imagine that kind of scenario, though. Huh? Ratona? What is it? Are you alright? You're looking a little pale. She's sick. I'm feeling slightly lethargic. It's also a heat I feel. It's quite unpleasant. It's strange, like every muscle in my body is slowly losing tension. The mana inside my body seems to be diffusing outwards, thanks to the osmotic pressure from the difference in mana concentrations. I'm fine. But more importantly, how are you feeling, Selphine? I'm feeling perfectly fine. Alright. You must be feeling mana shock, right? I wonder why I feel perfectly fine. This is just a theory. It said that the use of mana has an effect on of shortening one's lifespan. Royalty need to be able to live as long as they possibly can as well. That being the case, they don't use craft in their day-to-day lives. Using craft that they could instead have an attendant perform is actually considered taboo. They mustn't trouble themselves with the hassles of a daily routine. There are far more important things for them to concern themselves with. Naturally, Selphine is no exception to this. That actually makes sense. It's probably because, unlike me, you don't use any mana craft on a daily basis, which means the onset of symptoms takes longer. A small relief. If my symptoms worsen, I can use that as a basis to determine when the onset of mana shock will occur for Selphine. Ratona. Milady? This is another order. Selphine looks me straight in the eyes as she continues. Take care of yourself. If you feel that you're in danger, then I want to leave the outer pole immediately. So please, if it comes sooner than the 3-day limit, then let me know as soon as you can. I understand. For the time being, I truly do feel fine. This is probably just my unfamiliarity with the sensation I'm experiencing for the very first time. Okay. However, we don't have any concrete plan for while we're here in the outer pole. That's not exactly very good. Just asking around isn't very efficient either. Is there someone who knows the ins and outs of the city who we could speak with? Say, Ratona. Yes? How about we ask Kurtzvon? That's an idea.